Competition reality shows would be nowhere near as fun if they just had one episode and then picked a winner. Not only is it much more entertaining to watch people get eliminated one by one, week after week, but it's actually also a better strategy. You weed out the people who aren't likely to win or who definitely won't win, so that you're left with the best contenders and they can compete directly with each other side by side. This is also a really good strategy for choosing answers on the ACT reading test. You can eliminate any answers that are obviously incorrect so that you're left with the best contenders for right answer, and you can compare them directly to each other and to the passage. Keep in mind that on the ACT reading test, there are 3 times as many incorrect answers as correct answers, so those wrong answers are much easier to spot. Using process of elimination is the best way to make sure that you don't fall for the ACT's evil tricks, picking an answer that sounds good, but in reality isn't supported by the passage. When the ACT reading test gives you those 3 wrong answers, they're not going to be totally crazy answers, but the ACT reading test does like to give you wrong answers in the same kinds of ways. And so if you're good at spotting what types of incorrect answers there are, it'll be much easier to eliminate them. The first kind of wrong answer you might see is called right words, wrong story. In this case, you'll see terms and ideas that do appear in the passage, but when you put them together, they don't actually mean the same thing that the passage means, so it isn't an exact match. The next one you'll see is right answer, wrong question. This one can be really tricky because in this case, this is a situation in which you have an answer that is supported by the text. That information absolutely appears in the passage. But then you still have to ask yourself, does this answer this specific question? And if it doesn't, then it's got to go. The last one is known as out the window. These are the sort of crazy ones. These are the ones that provide information that maybe is related to the topic of the passage, but doesn't actually appear anywhere in the passage. And if an answer isn't supported by the text, then it never gets to stay. So now let's look at an actual question and see if we can find these kinds of answers. The main point of the 3rd paragraph is that, and here are our 4 answer choices. Now, before we even jump to the text and try to pick our way through all of that wording, let's work backwards. Use these answer choices to give yourself keywords that you can scan for in the text. That way you can go right to what you need. So for instance, in the first one, maybe the most important part are these practical and intellectual needs. Hull House is fulfilling that for these people. And in the second one, maybe it's about this idea of working simultaneously in the coffee house and the public kitchen. So we want to see if there's anything about people working in both of those places. In the next one, maybe the focus is that they served meals to the children of working mothers. So we're looking for that fact. And in the final one, it seems to be mostly about using the favorite recipes from the cookbooks. So we're going to look for those cookbooks in the passage. So now we can go one at a time and scan for these things. When we look at answer choice A, we're looking for those practical and intellectual needs. In the passage itself, there is mention of those practical and intellectual needs. We hear about all the things Hull House provides, and there are services, and there are also cultural events and exposure to different cultural activities. And so that really is what this is about, what Adams was looking for, practical and intellectual needs. So that one gets to stay in the running right now because it's supported by the paragraph. Now we look at B, and it says that these people worked simultaneously in the coffee house and in the public kitchen, the working mothers and the immigrant poor. Now, when we go to the passage here, we do see immigrant poor, we see the working mothers, we see the coffee house, and we see the kitchen, but when you put them together, there is no mention of those 2 groups of people working in both of those places. So this is a classic case of right words, wrong story. We can eliminate answer choice B. All right, answer choice C says that Hull House served meals to the children of working mothers. When we look at the passage, it absolutely says exactly that. It says that Hull House served meals to the children of working mothers. So C gets to stay in too. That is supported by the text. And then answer choice D says, the residents used recipes from their favorite cookbooks when they were developing the meals. Now, when we look at the passage, there's no mention of cookbooks anywhere. It's not a thing. So, when we go back to this, answer choice D definitely gets eliminated. That is an out-the-window answer. And now that we're down to A and C, we can look more closely at this. Is one of these a situation of right answer, wrong question? Well, what specifically is this question asking? It's asking what is the main point of the third paragraph. And so in this case, answer choice C is supported by the text, but it's not answering that question. It's not the main point of discussing what Adams wanted to do. That is a right answer, wrong question. In this case, using process of elimination, we found that the best possible answer choice is answer choice A. Make it your habit to always have a real reason for eliminating an incorrect answer on the ACT reading test. Work backwards and find those keywords in the answer choices so that you're testing each of them against exactly what's in the passage. And keep in mind, it's possible to get a perfect 36 on the reading test without knowing a single correct answer, as long as you can identify 120 incorrect answers.